Is Coach Ryan here? There you are. Thank you for being here, Coach Ryan. We appreciate your support. I also want to pause for a moment. Okay. Also want to acknowledge our players who are here. Many of them have classes, but several are here. Um, I haven't been able to wipe the smiles off their faces since they met with Coach Mox the other night, so thank you to our players for being here also. UVA women's basketball has an elite and storied history built by Coach Ryan and countless players, assistant coaches, team managers, athletic trainers, and many others. Anything great begins with the right people. An elite program requires selflessness by all involved, a team-first approach, a commitment to integrity, a relentless work ethic, a determined pursuit of excellence on and off the court, talented and coachable players, a dedicated staff, and lastly, a leader that can bring these people and these ideals together. A leader who can inspire others to believe. And Coach Mox is that person for us here at the University of Virginia. In addition to being an exceptional coach, she is also a very special person. And we are indeed very fortunate to have her as our coach and as our newest member to the UVA family. So please join me in welcoming Coach Mox as UVA women's basketball coach.
Thank you, and good morning. I'm excited and overjoyed to become the University of Virginia's women's basketball head coach. It's a blessing to be leading a program with such rich women's basketball history, academic excellence, and global name recognition. From our leaders to our coaches, student athletes, to our facilities and resources, the UVA brand is truly first class. I want to first and foremost thank my Lord and Savior, because without him, I would not be here. I also want to thank my family for their endless sacrifices, love, and support. I have my husband, Billy Hamilton, here, and my son, Eze Hamilton. I want to thank the Board of Visitors, President Ryan, and Carla Williams for believing in me and my vision and providing this amazing opportunity. I also would like to thank the past and present UVA greats for reaching out to me and showering me with love and support. Debbie Ryan, Don Staley, Tammy Reese, and Wendy Palmer, just to name a few. I thank you all for welcoming me and my family into the Wahoo family. Now, to my players, I look forward to the journey ahead. I look forward to building relationships, winning on the court, winning in the classroom, and winning in the community. There will be some ups and downs, some good times and bad, but we'll get through them together. There's a lot of work to be done here, but there's a lot of blessings ahead. There are banners to be hung. This community is hungry for more, and so am I. A little more about me. My overall coaching philosophy fits into 3 letters, F-A-B, FAB, family, academics, basketball. Family, we'll have to work at this. It's not gonna be something we say, it's gonna be who we are. You'll be accountable to the person on your right and your left and will understand that you are part of something that's bigger than yourself. I take the relationship building piece very seriously. I invest in people. I'm tough when I need to be, but I love always. Academics. You have to be able to take care of your business in the classroom just as much as you take care of your business on the court. My job is not only to make you a better basketball player and to win games, but it's also to prepare you for life after basketball. I take a lot of pride in that. Everyone will be pushed to do their best, which will ultimately be different for each kid. We will celebrate your success off the court just as much as we celebrate your success on the court. Now, basketball. Basketball's last in that order, but it's certainly not least. It's a big reason why we're here. The tradition here for many, many years was to pursue championships and to put up banners in the stands. We will get back to that. Player development will be key. Recruiting will be essential. We need to rejuvenate this community. Bringing back alums, getting butts in those seats, all that will help the process. One thing you'll hear me say all the time is progress is the process. We just have to keep taking steps forward. We will be disciplined, hardworking, relentless competitors day in and day out, but we will enjoy the journey. We are about to start an amazing ride together, and I can't wait. Wahoo Nation, I promise to give you my all, and that's all I ask for in return. Go Hoos.
Thank you. As we do questions, if you could introduce yourself and your media outlet so Coach can get to know everybody a little bit, that would be appreciated. And following the question and answer session, we will have an opportunity for a pose photo up front here. So we'll start with Jeff.
Hey, Coach. Jeff White, VirginiaSports.com. Welcome to Charlottesville. This has been a rough stretch for the program. As you begin the rebuilding process, what are your immediate priorities?
First and foremost, getting to know the players that are here, building relationships, and getting to work on the court. I take a lot of pride in player development, so that's the first thing we need to do. Second, recruiting. We've already hit the ground running with that. I think, obviously I like to recruit the four-year kid, but the transfer portal has also changed some things. So, looking at some good transfers that are going to fit our culture, but also can be competitive on the floor. I'll be bringing my staff, so that'll be an easy transition for me, and I'll be able to, delegate and get organized pretty quickly. So that'll help. But, we got to develop these kids and we got to recruit. Those are the two things that need to happen here in the next couple months.
The coach, Hank Kurz with the Associated Press, you talked about rebuilding kind of the community's stake in this. How do you go about doing that? You took over a program that was in pretty good shape. This one, as Jeff alluded to, has kind of struggled, but you grew up in Virginia when this was one of the top programs in the country. What are the biggest challenges with getting it back to that level?
Yeah, from when I was in high school, this was a staple. There was championships here. UVA was a big program, and it still is. So I want to tap into the community. I'm somebody who loves to go out and talk. I want people to get to know me, get to know my vision, get to know our players. It's not going to just be me. Our players are going to be in the community as well. Our alums are a big piece of this. I want to make sure that they know they're welcome and they're a big part of this. You have to know where this program's been in order to understand where it's going. So I think those are two big pieces. But we need the community support. I think that they'll enjoy the energy that we're going to bring here and feel more involved. I think, because we're going to be out there. We're going to be speaking. We're going to be giving back. I'll have some open practices, anything I can to just create more energy around the program.
Hey, Coach, welcome. Mike Barber from the Richmond Times-Dispatch, but my question is for Carla. Carla, your process in finding Coach Mox, you're in a unique position with your connections in women's basketball, obviously having played and coached. Who did you kind of rely on, talk to? What was the process? And is Coach somebody you've had an eye on for maybe a little while?
Yes, she's been on our radar for a while and had a great career at Missouri State. So when they made it to the Sweet 16, that got a lot of people's attention because that's a big deal. It's a great program, but you still have to work at it. You've got to recruit, you got to develop players in order to win, and she was able to do that at a very high level in her time at Missouri State. So our staff worked really hard to vet candidates, and we had some great candidates. Our approach was we talked with the players, talked with the team and got their input, spoke with some former players and Coach Ryan as well to get their input, because we think the history of the program is really, really important. And I think that'll be a huge asset for Coach Mox and for the team moving forward. So we got a lot of input as we were vetting candidates, and along the way, it just became crystal clear that AMAKA was the best candidate for UVA.
We're in the back now.
Coach Jermaine Farrell, WFXR in Roanoke, welcome to Wahoo here in Charlottesville. What is your fondest memory when you look at this women's program? I mean, obviously, when you were going to high school, what was your fondest memory of this program when you were here or when you were in the state?
Well, some of those Final Four runs, I guess you could say. But for me, Dawn Staley, she was kind of bigger than life, when I was growing up. Wendy Palmer, Tammy Reese, those names, I just remember just the passion that they played with, the pride that they walked around and spoke about UVA with. It's just a very, very strong brand. And being from this state, I understand that. And I understand what having Virginia on your chest means and the pride that goes with that. And it's not just what you do on the court, it's how you carry yourself, it's the character of our program, it's how we impact our community. So there's a lot that goes into that, and that's why I said it's a first-class place, and I just want to uphold that.
Hey, Coach Mox, Preston Willett with CBS 19 here in Charlottesville. Just, you grew up in the state of Virginia, but what about this job, it's been a program that's kind of been down for a couple of years, but what about this job kind of spoke to the potential that this program has?
Yeah, I've always loved UVA. Obviously great facilities, great resources, great location, great academics, the list goes on. So it was definitely on my radar, but actually after talking to Carla and just connecting with her, I'm a people person, and the people that I work with and work for is very important to me. I had a great relationship in my prior job with the athletic director there, so it was really important to understand Carla's vision, what she's looking for, how she leads, and I just really fell in love with the way that she's running this athletic department, so that was a no-brainer for me.
You made the transition from associate head coach to head coach look easy in your first year. I'm sure it was more challenging than it appeared. What have the past 3 seasons maybe taught you as a coach and your development as a coach?
That you can lead with your heart. You can value people. You can impact lives, impact communities. When people look at my journey at Missouri State, they just think that I walked into something and it happened. There's a lot of hard work that went into that, and the culture that I built there and how I developed those student athletes, me and my staff, is just, it's not an easy thing to do. So if you dive in and really look at what we accomplished, you know that it can be accomplished here as well. When I got there, there was no players on any all-conference teams at all. There was nobody being recognized individually. And by the time I left, we had 5 players on first team, 3 on an all-defensive team, 2 defensive players of the year, 1 player of the year. The accolades go on. Most improved, newcomers. We had all kinds of accolades because we invested in them. We worked on their confidence. We worked on their game. We helped them off the court. And so I know, and I'm very confident that I can develop players, and my staff can develop players. I'm confident that I can put them in positions to be successful. So that's what we did there, and we broke a lot of records, made history, etched our names in those history books, and that's what I want to do here. I want to inspire these kids, and even the ones that we're looking to bring in, and help them walk with that confidence on and off the court, and get them to believe in something bigger than themselves.
Coach Mox, Mike from Richmond again. Understanding that personnel, I know, will dictate a lot of it, but what is your preferred kind of style of play, and might it change with the caliber of players you might be able to attract at UVA?
Yeah, my style of play won't change. It's up-tempo. We're going to play fast, make or miss. We have an organized transition break, but we like to get up and down. I have a continuity offense that we flow into, but then I also run a lot of quick hits. I like versatile players. Post players that can shoot, big guards that can post. I like to play with the defense a little bit that way and utilize our mismatches when we can. Offensively, that's how we play. Defensively, if you look at our track record, when I was at Missouri State, we were top 10 in scoring defense in the country. Rebounding, we were up there, our stats in the country, because that's a staple. That's who we're going to be. We have to defend at a high level, be physical, understand angles. I'm more of a gap defense coach than deny. So that's primarily what we do, but then rebounding is big. That was one of my strengths as a player, and it just carries on as a coach. If you want to play for me, you got to be able to rebound the ball. So that's something that we're going to do as well.
Coach, this program, Hank with AP again, this program gets, on the men's side, gets a lot of critics that talk about the style of play and defense and slow offense and all that stuff, but there's a banner up there that they won a couple years ago playing that way. And the fans here have really come to embrace, 30-second shot clock violations and stuff like that. How much can that be an aspect of bringing the crowd back into the fold?
It's huge. I think any fan base loves when their players compete at a high level and on both sides of the ball. So yes, I'm gonna stress defense a lot and rebounding, but you got to stress both. So I think it's big, and it's, I have a lot of respect for Coach Bennett and what he's done here, and he doesn't even know this, but actually the continuity offense that we run is mover blocker, and we studied that a lot from him and his father, and we don't. That's not the only thing we do. We run a lot of quick hits, but that we do default into that. So I'm excited to pick his brain on that a little bit. So I definitely respect his style of play and what he does, but I have my own thing and my philosophy, and I think the community is going to enjoy it.
Coach Mox, Jermaine Farrell again, WFXR in Roanoke. And obviously, you mentioned Coach Bennett and some of the other national championship coaches that are here at the University of Virginia. If you had a chance to talk to any of them, and if you have, what is the biggest piece of advice you've gotten from them to have success here?
Well, I haven't, it's been kind of a whirlwind, and I'm going to, definitely tap in with everyone once we get settled. But I've gotten a lot of advice. A lot of people just tell me how much this community is craving, just more energy, competitive basketball, exciting basketball, someone that is going to, tap in with the community and care. And so that's who I am. Nobody has to tell me to do that. I'm a people person. I invest in people, and it's not just my student athletes, not just my coaching staff. It's everybody. I asked Carla in the interview process, what is the camaraderie like between head coaches and the staff here? And I've already felt it. I'm still trying to get back to messages, but I think probably every head coach in this department has reached out along with other athletic administrative staff. So I love the family atmosphere here within athletics and also within the community. I think the community has embraced me, and I couldn't ask for more.
Sorry, Carly. Moving the camera. Just when you've gone through this coaching search before with women's basketball, what did you kind of pick up through that first process, and kind of how did you change things, or just how do you compare those processes?
I think this time we were more targeted, and it was great to get really good feedback from former players, from Coach Ryan. We did that last time as well, from our current student athletes. I know Virginia better now, so I have a better understanding of the university, of the institution, of the culture. And so everything that Coach Mox is what we have. And so I love our head coaches. I think it's a great group. She and I talked about our head coaches a lot, how they share with each other, how they support each other. And so making sure that we found the right fit, which she is a people person, who is also a gym rat, and so it's a perfect combination. And so I think just being more deliberate, more targeted, and coming down the stretch, just making it happen.
Coach Mox, Luke Neer here, UVA women's basketball play-by-play. I just want to talk about restoring the image of the program that Debbie built. The last 2 years were a little bit of a mess. So can you do anything else besides from winning to just put Virginia back in a good image state?
Yeah, I wasn't here, and I don't really, care to talk about the past. I just really want to talk about the present and the future and where we're trying to go. And I think that the program is going to reflect the leader of the program. So I'm somebody that, always carries myself with class and grace. I'm a genuine person. I'm a God-fearing woman. And I just have people's best intentions always at heart. So I'm just going to pour into our players, and I want them to understand the lessons that they can learn from this game. And it's not just about on the court. I want to make sure they're prepared for life. So we're going to do a lot of things to help them continue to grow and understand that things are bigger than basketball. I say that all the time, bigger than buckets. So I think that'll reflect, from the way that we carry ourselves and the way that we compete on the court and the way that we, get out into the community and speak and get to know people. I think you'll see just a change, I guess, in that regard.
Jeff White again, you grew up in Northern Virginia, you went to Oakton High School. Do you still have family in the state? And if so, what does it mean to be closer to home?
Being home, there's no better feeling, to be honest. I didn't really know if that was going to happen ever in my career, just because jobs take you everywhere, I guess, in this business, and I've spent a lot of time away from home, at Indiana University, Michigan State, Missouri, so I spent a lot of time in the Midwest. I have tons of family that lives in Northern Virginia, D.C., Maryland, so that whole DMV area. So they are ecstatic. People already planning to be season ticket holders, come down here. They're asking if I'm here already because they were already, trying to come. This was just a work day where some people couldn't make it today. But it's a blessing. For me, I grew up around family. We have a huge family, lots of cousins, aunts, uncles, things like that. So I want my son to be able to grow up in that atmosphere. My husband's excited to be closer to family. So there's nothing like it. I mean, I think to me, it's the best possible situation for me, personally and professionally.
Jerry Ratcliffe, jerryratcliffe.com. Welcome to Charlottesville. Who's been the biggest influence on your career, your basketball career? And when you find yourself with questions you don't have answers for, who do you go to as sort of a guru? I imagine it's probably the same person.
Yeah. First of all, God has been the biggest influence on my life and my career. But, I have a lot of, I guess you could say, mentors. One, my college coach, Felicia Leggett-Jack. She's actually the head coach at Buffalo right now. I worked for her at Indiana as well when she was at Indiana University. Katie Abrahamson Henderson, a really good friend of mine. She's head coach at Central Florida. My high school coach, Fred Priester, he's at Oakton High School. Coach Ryan knows him pretty well. There's multiple coaches along the way, but I try to just stay grounded with a small circle that I can trust. Not that there's not other people that I do turn to at times, and my faith in God really helps drive me.
Coach Damon Dillman, CavsCorner.com over here. You touched on this a little bit, but when you look around at these facilities and the location, you're familiar with all of that. Just how much maybe potential do you see in this program once you kind of start building things?
It's endless. Honestly, there's no reason why we can't win here. This facility is by far one of the best that I've seen. And I've been at some schools where, top in the country facilities, but this is, if not the best that I've seen. And I don't think you can compare it to, our locker room, from our locker room to the recovery area, the weight room, offices. To me, it's the best in the country, honestly. And I'm not just saying that. I actually, after I took my tour yesterday, I called Carla and told her that. So we'll get recruits on campus. They will be wowed by that, which is great. But to me, people make the place, and I think people here are just first-class people. I believe in my ability to recruit, my staff's ability to recruit. I would love for Carla to talk to recruits and other coaches. I really believe in what we have here, and there's been an overwhelming interest, I guess you could say, from recruits right now, reaching out to us before we even reach out to them. So I just think that the potential is endless. We're going to get this thing going, and I'm just excited.
We're going to take our last question here from Mike Barber, and then we're going to do a little photo op up with our two speakers. So if we could keep the center aisle area clear during that for the cameras in the back, that would be appreciated. Here you go, Mike.
Coach, my first question, I asked Carla about her background with college basketball playing and coaching. For you as a coach to have an AD with that connection to the sport, is that an advantage? Is it pressure? How do you view kind of her level of understanding of what it is you'll be doing?
Yeah, I think it's an advantage. I don't ever really see anything as pressure. Let me just backtrack for a second. When I got to Missouri State, I was the first ever African-American female coach in any sport at that university. They're coming off of Sweet 16. They wanted somebody, the community wanted somebody else for the job. So I always use those situations that others may see as pressure as opportunity for people to understand me and get to know me and for me to leave my mark. So I don't think anything is pressure. I just handle that in a different way. That's just me personally. Now, as far as Carla, I love how passionate she is about athletics in general, but women's basketball is close to her heart. I understand that, and I think that's great. You know, when we were at the men's game the other day and we were up there in the suite, I just was listening to some of the things she was saying, and you can tell that she's a basketball head and a coach at heart. So I love that, you know, and I think that it adds some like relatability, and just, you know, we can talk basketball a little bit, and you know that, you know, she's gonna always have your back and understand what you're going through and understand different circumstances and things that can happen on the court. So to me, it's not pressure. To me, it's just more of support. And I truly appreciate her investment in it.
Just let us know when you guys are going to play this game of horse. Thanks, everyone. We're going to reset our stage here real quick and get some photos. Melissa Dudek will have our student athletes on this side. If you want to go over there, she'll help coordinate that right now while we're getting set up real quick. Hold on for Matt here, and then after this, we're going to have Team Mox come up for a family shot. Okay, thanks everyone. We appreciate everybody coming out today. For those of you invited to the reception, that will be taking place upstairs in the dining hall on level 2.